Racing games are in a kind of a rut right now, with nothing but the same type of titles coming out, where the community has battles over which one is the more sweaty and the more realistic. This is exactly where iRacing, of all places, brings a title that, quite honestly, was needed, with a refreshing format, originality, and I may say, a lot of wholesomeness. This is iRacing Arcade, and you should pay attention to it. But before going there, a huge thank you to all the viewers, members, and subscribers for supporting the channel. I'm trying to get 100,000 subscribers, and it is really close. Hopefully it's this year, but I do need your help. If you wouldn't mind pressing that like and subscribe, that would help a lot. Thank you so much. Anyways, the concept of iRacing Arcade is very simple. It's a streamlined game with a streamlined career mode, with light elements of base building and management, some progression with different types of cars that cover, for example, the Fiat 500 Abarth, some formulas, TCR, the Porsche Cup, and even GTP. You also have licensed tracks with some sort of artistic freedom, a cute and fun art, and a handling that will literally pick up in 1 or 2 minutes. But don't let the cutesy and lighthearted nature of the game fool you, because the gameplay is solid all around, the AI is quite fun, and the game is quite addictive. So what this game is basically iRacing deciding to loosen its tie and have some fun. This is not a hardcore sim, and it's not pretending to be one. Instead, it takes the feel and credibility of real motorsports and reshapes it into something you can jump in without any homework, practice laps, or fear of ruining your entire race with one tiny mistake, and does happen a lot. Driving is the core of the game, and this is where it really clicks. The cars feel responsive and solid without being stressful. You can push hard, you can slide a little bit, you can recover without the game slapping your hands. If you brake late, you'll lose time, or you'll run wide. You don't instantly spin into the shadow realm. It very much reminds me of a mix of some sort of psycho slot car racing with some 1999 based RC car game called Revolt. The handling is very similar, flowly engaging with tactile controls. Working on my Xbox controller, I didn't need to do anything. I just plugged it in my USB port and the game did the rest. There's a fun sense of speed, and cars have some weight, corners will have some rhythm, and you are rewarded for smooth driving. But the game doesn't demand perfection, because the contact will happen and you want to cause it in some way, because you just want to overtake the AI. So GTP drivers will know about this. Even with all of that contact, you usually keep going anyway, which keeps the race exciting instead of being frustrating. The AI is on a rougher side, but not as rough as what it happens in Porsche Cup or IMSA GTP in the main title. And yes, I went there. They will push, they will dive bomb, they will hit you, they will overtake slides, all in good arcade behavior. They are really fun, even if at times predictable and chaotic. And honestly, we do want some predictability and chaos in these types of games, and they brought it in spades. I think one of the best things they have done about this game, at least in my opinion, is how connected everything feels without being overly serious, because the cars are based on real machines and the tracks are mostly real circuits, which gives the game some sort of instant credibility, even if you have a lot of cartoonish look and they did a lot in the tracks. I think even if you don't know much about motorsport, I think you can instantly connect with the simplified tracks and the simplified driving. And in truth, I'm really glad they actually simplified the tracks, because it actually makes them really fun. With some sections with the chicanes, for example, you just go over them if you know exactly what line to take. And if you think about it, it really feels that the game wants you racing and having fun and not fighting the controls or the physics. And part of the fun is also the career mode, where the game quietly becomes a little bit addictive. Instead of just racing for the sake of racing, and you can do that, of course, you're building up your operation over time. You can upgrade the buildings, unlock new cars, new events, and upgrades that will make future races easier or more rewarding. For example, each building will give you some sort of race upgrade to be used in a race. You can apply it to the car and consumed after the race finishes, and then it will be refreshed and replaced by other random upgrades for you to choose in future races. These upgrades will make some difference in the performance of the car without being game-changing or feeling like cheats. This game is really not complicated or menu heavy or upgrade heavy or really never buried in stats or forced to manage tiny details. You race, you earn rewards, you upgrade, and you move on to the next one. That loop really works well, especially because the races are short enough that progress always feels close. There's always something to work towards, either that is a new car, a tougher championship, or a special event. It gives meaning to every race, even when you only have like 15 or 20 minutes of your day to play. In the career mode, you may find also some sort of championships or some sort of endurance special events where you need to have some strategy and forethoughts, where you need to figure out your fuel level, how it's the control of the tires, and you need to, be good in your pit entry. But it's really not that hardcore, it's not really that deep or complex, it's just more flavor to the title. Now visually, as you can see, this game is not trying to be photorealistic, it's just an artsy, cutesy type of thing that it's meant to be readable. It's not trying to melt your graphics cards, but everything looks sharp and smooth at speed. The tracks are easy to read, everything is really easy to understand. The game runs really well, it doesn't get confusing. I have no problems hitting fixed 144 Hz at 1440p in my title, in my game I mean, and you shouldn't really have any problems to hit at least 60 Hz, and the game runs really smooth. So this might be one of those titles to pick up with the Steam Deck and the likes, where you just load it to your Steam Deck, you go for a run or whatever, you just play a little bit when you are outside the house. It's really a pick up and play kind of deal. So the handling is solid, but even if it's a game that looks exactly like this, the sound design is actually pretty good in this game. The engines do sound punchy, the tires have this little squeal to them, there's also some turbo flitters when you're pushing too hard, and the collisions actually have a nice decent sound without being obnoxious or annoying. And to be fair, the car sounds do sound very good for a title of this type, better than some new titles out there, and better than some more legacy iRacing cars. But let's be fair here, let's stop a little bit with the glaze. This is a lighthearted game with somewhat wide but light mechanics, which is fair enough for a game of this type. The handling can feel very samey between cars, there's just more or less grip, more or less turn in, more or less speed. There's no sense of a deeper physics systems with the control of the car based on what type of traction the car will have, where the engine is. It's really no art of rally in that sense, just a looser or a tighter car that you will have no problem whatsoever controlling. At the level of management, it was also super light. It's, for me, a feel-good time spender that sends a lot of nostalgia vibes from games of the 90s and early noughties. A bit of what Art of Rally did back in 2019 or 2020. In that sense, iRacing Arcade ends up being really a game that knows exactly what it wants to do. It delivers a fast, approachable racing with real-world flavor, smooth handling, and a progression system that keeps pulling you forward. It respects your time, it doesn't really overwhelm you, and rarely punishes you for experimenting what to do against the AI. This is a game you boot up for a few races and then accidentally you play for half an hour, or an hour and a half. It's confident, it's polished and fun in a straightforward way. You don't need to study it, grind it endlessly, or take it too seriously. You just drive fast, race hard, and enjoy the ride.